Hi, it's another great day in Coto de Caza, Orange County, California. And along our median here, this is a Raphaelepis, and today we're going to talk about the difference between Raphaelepis indica and Raphaelepis umbellata. And this one here, this is a Raphaelepis indica. It's an evergreen shrub, grows about 6 feet high, can be trained as a bonsai, even a small tree about 15 feet high. And it comes to us from southern China. And its common name is Indian hawthorn, and sometimes even a Hong Kong hawthorn. It's a member of the Rosaceae family, so it's related to both roses and apples. And here we have some pretty flowers we have blooming in wintertime. Wow, over here as well. Now you notice an indica, if you take a look at the leaves, here we go. Now the leaves here, it's a very larger one. This is 2 to 3 inches long. They're oblong to lance shaped. They're pointed at the end. You know, there's points here. And they're also serrated. And that makes them different than the Raphaelepis umbellata. And we'll take these and compare them to the umbellata plant in another location. So new growth is purple. We got these little purple leaves from the new growth. All right, look at this pretty one. Wow. Also, they get a little purplish under frost conditions as well. Okay, so let's take a look at our Raphaelepis umbellata. All right, so now we're here in our Target shopping center, and this shrub here is used throughout this whole parking lot. Here we got some over here, way down here. And this shrub, this is Raphaelepis umbellata. And it comes to us from Korea, Taiwan, and Japan. Now some people call it an Indian hawthorn as well, but it's better to call it a Yedda Hawthorn, since Yedda is the original name of the city of Tokyo, and of course the species comes from Japan. So this one here, it's a low-growing evergreen shrub. It stands about 3 feet to 6 feet tall and about the same width. It's inexpensive, easy to grow, easy to shape, and that's why you find it throughout this entire parking lot. And this one here, look how wide this is. I mean, this thing is pretty wide, full of berries. Now, if you look at the leaves of our Yedda Hawthorn, see here, they're about 2 to 3 inches. They're darkish, glossy green. They're a bit leathery. They're dense. They're relatively broad shaped, broad leafed. And if you compare it to our other Rhaphiolepis, the Indica, this is one, the Indica here, and if you compare it side by side, let's see here. All right. So on top, that's our Indica, and on the bottom, that's our Umbellata. And you see the Indica is a little more pointed. It's more serrated here on top. And the Umbellata is more rounded tipped and less serrated on the edges. And they also feel a bit leathery. They're light green underneath. It doesn't mean that every single one of these is rounded. See, some of these are a little bit pointed, some are even a little serrated. But for the most part, you find it kind of this rounded shape. Now, there's a dwarf variety of this plant. It's called a Raphaelepis umbellata minor, or a dwarf Yedda. It's more compact than this one, and the leaves are only about 1 inch long. And you typically buy it at your nursery. It's called a Gulf Green. So if you want a dwarf, you're just looking for something that's kind of short, round, easy to grow. So our plant here provides us clusters of very fragrant pink, white flowers in springtime and early summer. And the flowers die back to give us these berries here. These are bluish black berries. They appear in late summer and they last throughout winter. And now it's December and you see this plant is just flooded with these berries. They're great for bird attractors, especially like sparrows and finches. And the berries here, they're also edible for humans. Let's see here. I mean, not very good. They taste a little bit tart, but they're best to be boiled or cooked, and then you use them in jams or jellies or sauces for game tasting meat like deer. And these have been eaten as far back as 2,000 years ago to help treat heart disease, high blood pressure, chest pain, improve blood flow, and prevent damage to blood vessels. But the seeds, they do contain cyanide, so don't eat the seeds, all right? So both our Yedda and Indian hawthorns, they work best as a foundation plant, especially as a shrub in medians and sidewalks and parking lots and divider on the edge of your property. And most people grow these because they're very neat and tidy, and they're easy to mound and cut into a hedge. Now these also grow taller, and you could cut them into a little bonsai tree or a tall tree shape, and even train them to be shaped like animals and little objects. Now they prefer full sun, moist, well-drained soil. They tolerate coastal salt spray and sandy soils. They're sensitive to frost and cold, so they might not grow in all areas of the world. Now they need very little water, very little pruning. In fact, you probably only need to prune them about once or twice a year in spring or summer after the blooms. And the most common problem with this plant is a fungal disease called Entomosporium leaf spot. And what happens, most of the younger leaves, they'll start getting little spots, tiny round, on the upper and lower sides of the young leaves. And I'm looking here for some leaf rot. But then these expand to large irregular blotches, and finally severe infections cause the leaves to drop. Now, this disease, Entomosporium leaf spot, it's prevented by having full sun and drip irrigation. Avoid too much water on the plants. But if you do get fungus leaf spot, space these out and switch to drip irrigation instead of sprinklers. And clean out the old leaves and anything else that may show up. And you can spray them with fungicide when the new leaves appear around June. All right, and they also get this purplish color. This is all the new growth, turns a little purple here. And if it gets cold, they might also turn a little purple as well. Okay, so that's our Yedda and our Indian hawthorn plants, Raphaelepis genus. And thanks for watching my video, and please have a great day. Thanks, bye.